We welcome you to the Kohl Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Up next, live NCAA women's volleyball. Last year, Penn State's Russ Rose came up short in a heartbreaking loss to Stanford in the NCAA championship final. This year, however, the Lions are back. They roar into the national semifinals with a full head of steam, undefeated, and still looking for that elusive first national title. Standing in their way, Terry Pettit and mighty Nebraska. The Huskers have had Penn State's number over the years, ending the Lions' postseason 6 times. They figure they can do it again. And after surviving 2 tough 5-game matches in the Pacific Regional, the Huskers are ready. With a shot at the NCAA championship trophy awaiting the winner, Penn State meets Nebraska. We're expecting the largest crowd in NCAA collegiate volleyball history, over 12,000. Tonight in semifinal number 1, the Nebraska Huskers meet the Penn State Nittany Lions. The 4 best teams in the nation are here. In addition to Nebraska and Penn State in semifinal number 2, the University of Florida will take on undefeated Long Beach State. Hi again, everybody, and welcome. I'm Chris Marlowe along with Heather Cox. We have a great matchup for you tonight. Penn State comes in at 34-0, undefeated. This is a team that has been dominant and looks invincible.
And Chris, not only is Penn State undefeated, but they have only lost 3 games all season long. And I think most importantly, they have the chemistry and the desire. They returned 5 starters from a team that a year ago was just points away from the national championship. And last but not least, they have one of the best setters in the game in Bonnie Bremner. This 3-time All-American has a great discipline and knowledge of the game. Bremner is a unique setter in that she is so offensive, she actually has the numbers of one of the top hitters in the nation, so she easily distracts opponents, and she adds just one more element to a very balanced Penn State squad.
Nebraska comes in with a glittering record of 32-1. In many ways, it's a typical Terry Pettit kind of team, big, strong, and physical.
But in the past, historically, while Penn State is the favorite team, the Huskers have dominated Penn State in tournament play, winning 6 of 7 of their matchups, and Nebraska is very physical and dominant at the net, and they also have a great setter to quarterback the offense in Fiona Nepo. Like Bremner, she too is a 3-time All-American and the heart and soul of this Nebraska squad. She left her native Hawaii, a hotbed for volleyball, to play for the Huskers with the ultimate goal of winning a national title. And both of these players are on a personal mission to get a W tonight.
Let's now take a look at the Nike starting lineups. Nancy Maindring will start opposite. She's been great this year. Angie Oxley and Jamie Krondak are the outside hitters. Megan Corver and Tanya Tauki are the middle blockers. And the kid from Honolulu, Fiona Nepo is the setter.
And the coach for Nebraska, Terry Pettit, in 22 years at the helm for the Huskers, Pettit has led his team to 6 NCAA championships, including a title in '95. He's assisted by Kathy Noth and Nikki Bass.
Meanwhile, for Penn State, Lindsay Anderson will start opposite or on the right side. 2 very good outside hitters, Carrie Schoenfeld and Christy Cochran. Emily Stout is in the middle, along with the great one, Lauren Cacciamani. And Bonnie Bremner is the starting center.
Russ Rose, in his 20th season at Penn State, is a 2-time National Coach of the Year and boasts an 85% win record, good for number 2 all time. He's assisted under Nebraska's Terry Pettit in '77 and '78, ironically, and is assisted tonight by Aaron Appleman and Mike Shaw.
2 big bombers going at each other, Lauren Cacciamani and Nancy Maindring.
Cacciamani patrols the net 3rd in the nation in blocks per game, and Maindring is the wild card. She has to have a big night, which she's more than capable of, averaging more than 6 kills per game in tournament play. We talked about the 2 teams, 1 and 2 blocking teams in the nation. It's an obvious key tonight, and Penn State has not been outblocked in a match this year, but they're facing the best blocking team in the country. Something's got to give tonight.
This will be the best 3 out of 5 game match, each game to 15 points. You must win by 2. You can only score when you serve, and you cannot touch the net at any time. There are no caps in women's volleyball. 5th game, if we get there, rally scoring. Nebraska, wearing black tops, will serve first. Penn State in white on receive. Initial play right to Lauren Cacciamani, and she puts it away. Long dink for the youngster. Cacciamani, a junior from Paramus, New Jersey. She gets her first kill.
Obviously, a key tonight is the middle blocking attack for Penn State. Cacciamani and Emily Stout will be huge, especially as Penn State's ball control is on target.
Christy Cochran will serve. Right down the middle. Nebraska on the attack. They'll sit left. And over the top and out. Was there touch? No. Penn State gets a point. That was Jamie Krondak with the arrow.
Good look at Nepo, a very deceptive setter. She will try to get her hitters one-on-one as much as possible.
Nepo, the backslide. Second ball hit out by Megan Korver. 2-0 Penn State.
2 quick hitting errors by Nebraska. Certainly a sign of tentativeness. Very nervous coming out. They're getting the passes they need to run an offense.
Penn State's Cochran continues to serve. Nepo out of the back line. Maindring dug up. Penn State get point number 3 right here. They'll have to keep it in play. Here comes Nebraska. Nepo takes it left side. Penn State, good digging team. They jam at the net, and Bremner comes up the winner.
And already Bremner showing her prowess at the net, not only as a setter, but as an offensive weapon. She leads the nation in hitting percentage, just unheard of for a setter.
436 is Bremner's percentage at the net. Nepo with the jam. Penn State has it again. Chance for another point. Double contact. Backing up was Emily Stout. Our first referee, Kathy Bararcio. Umpire tonight, Patsy Malta. Bararcio up, Malta is down.
Chris, tonight the game for Nebraska is all about serving and blocking. In their 2 regional wins, they were outdug and out-hit, but they were the better serving and better blocking team.
Tanya Halke is checked into the front line, and there's an ace. So Nebraska's on the board.
So right after that, the serve, such an important key for Nebraska. They want to take Penn State out of the offense, and if they can get an ace, all the better, right on that white line. Anything that touches the line is good.
Nebraska trailing by 2 early. Huskers appearing to be a little bit tentative, and now Penn State with the experience will serve it up. Kachiamani right down the middle. Good pass. Nepo one-on-one on the left, and the ball is dug up by Anderson. Beautiful dig. Kachiamani keeps it in play. Korver, good pass. Nepo back set. Penn State blocked. Nebraska will try it again. Shot over. There goes Anderson. And the ball shot out of bounds. I think Penn State very underrated for their floor defense. They can grovel.
Their defensive skills are great. What's so good about them is they have quick footwork and they read very well. They stay very balanced, good low center of gravity to dig any ball.
Nepo, a senior from Honolulu, Hawaii. Kachiamani spikes it on the bounce, so Kachiamani gets the kill, her second. Score remains 3-1.
Kachiamani, the biggest difference between last year and this year to me is her back row skills. Any time of the match, Bremner can go to Kachiamani. She is a solid attacker out of that tight position or that right side spot.
Maindring tip. Penn State a little confused. Here comes Nebraska. Nepo back set. Out of the back line, here comes Kachiamani. No. Nebraska trying to shoot it over again, and Nepo will score one. So Nepo gets the side out.
And obviously, Terry Pettit's done a remarkable job of scouting Penn State and finding that donut area of the court, or the very middle of the defense, especially in this perimeter defense that Penn State plays, is vulnerable. So far, Nepo already dishing it over there twice.
Jamie Krondak, senior from Lincoln with the serve. Anderson set is tight. Nebraska's known for its blocking, and they jam it down, but they were into the net. A net violation. The ball will go to Penn State.
Very good call. Nebraska actually into the net before the ball fell to the ground, so the violation counts prior to the kill. There's the look into the net, the forearms by the outside hitter.
Penn State serving, leading 3-1 here in game 1. Inside Penn State with a block, and that's going to be another point. 4-1.
As long as Nepo can't run the middle attack consistently, Penn State is going to dominate on the block. You can't be too predictable against the Penn State block.
Shank pass. Nepo pops it over. Free ball. Penn State on the attack. Quick set. Stout puts it away. Emily Stout to replace the great All-America Terry Zamaitis. She gets the kill, and timeout called by Nebraska. First game action of national semifinal number 1. Penn State off to a quick start, leading 5-1. Marlowe back with Heather Cox in Madison, Wisconsin. Huge crowd on hand watching NCAA semifinal number 1 featuring Penn State and Nebraska. Once again, Penn State coming into this match undefeated, and the ball put away by Nancy Maindring, her first kill. Maindring is the big gun for Nebraska. If she doesn't get off tonight, they're sunk.
It's amazing, too. 6'1" sophomore filling in for Lisa Reitzma, the 3-time All-American from a year ago. And Maindring has truly been the go-to player all season long. But Nebraska right now, more errors than kills. They have got to be more dominant at the net.
Nikki Hank comes in the back line. Hank, a junior from Bellevue, Nebraska. And the ball popped up. Nebraska putting it over. Into the middle and the put away. Emily Stout.
And there's Bonnie Bremner with the courage to try the bizarre. Great deception, actually with her back to the opponent. A no-look set makes it very hard for the Nebraska blocks to read where that set's going.
Kalna Miller comes in to serve. She replaces Emily Stout. Pretty good pass. Sent left side, and Penn State getting their blockers in the absolute perfect position. 2 on the outside. Ball over the top and down. Great shot on the left side. That was Angie Oxley. She's a sophomore from Ogallala, Nebraska, sharing the outside hitter position with Mandy Munson. We actually thought Munson was going to start, but Oxley in the starting line.
Very interesting switch, a last-minute switch based on warm-ups before the match.
Little tip. Nebraska has it. Chance for point. Korver popped up left side. Here comes Cochran. Nebraska has it. Shot left side. And Penn State keeps it alive. Cochran on the run. Nepo scoops. Rondak takes a whack. Anderson into the middle. Cacciamoni with the drive.
What's amazing about Penn State's offense is it's very second tempo, which means it's slower than a traditional quick offense. Here's the high two. Cacciamoni one-on-one. Nebraska has to get 2, maybe 3 blockers up against that attack.
Third kill for Lauren Cacciamoni. Score remains 5-1, and that is Nancy Maindring, a sophomore from Hull, Iowa. She replaced the great Lisa Reitzma, the tremendous All-American. Came from the same hometown, same tall body, and same left-hand swing.
And what I like almost more than Maindring's kills is her aggressiveness, her fire, her energy. Watch her when she comes down from the kill. She is lighting a fire for Nebraska.
So far, it's been all Penn State. Nebraska's been able to rally fairly well, but Penn State making the plays, and they have a 5-1 lead. Coming out of the match is Christy Cochran, which is kind of a surprise. Russ Rose wants to chat with her, and into the match is Leilani Schlattfeld, a serving specialist from Brazil.
Lately, Cochran has had to go out. Russ doesn't think that she's a tough enough server, so he likes to bring Schlattfeld in to serve and play a little defense. But what's so surprising about that substitution is Cochran actually won the starting spot because of her great defense, so they miss that edge when she goes out in the backcourt.
Russ Rose told me she has unquestionably the best serve on the team, so she gets a couple of plays in, and now she'll play back row. Both teams substituting liberally. You're allowed 12 substitutions per match, and Russ Rose will use all of his, as I believe will Terry Pettit. Coming into the match now is Denise Kojol, a junior from Norfolk, Nebraska. 6-1 Penn State, game 1 if you just joined us. Great crowd here in Madison, Wisconsin.
And Cacciamoni early making her presence known. She's got her 4th kill already. They've gone to her not only in the front court in the 3 rotations, but also in the back row.
Alva Miller went out. Emily Stout is back in, and a put away by Tanya Tauke, 6'3" junior out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. Tauke having a great year, hitting .342. Now, Fiona Nepo will serve. Her team down. Nebraska looking for some points. And Nebraska into the net. So things have not run smoothly for the Huskers so far.
And the good news for Penn State is that's actually the first kill on the outside position for Penn State, and that's a key position. Both Cochran and Schoenfeld have to have big matches to open up the other hitters.
Tremendous serve by Bonnie Bremner, going to one of the short zones and scoring another point. 7-1 Penn State. Nebraska trying to get the timing. There's a put away. Jamie Krondak, another senior for Nebraska, and the Huskers will have it. And Krondak will serve.
And watch Krondak in the backcourt, one of the best defensive players to have ever worn a Husker jersey.
They're working on Schoenfeld, and she's passing perfectly so far. Schoenfeld around the horn. Should be a point for Nebraska right here. Back set. Penn State has the dig. Bremner back set, right side. Popped up. Kraus coming. 2 tall women, and someone's into the net. It's Penn State. That's a big jam at the net. Number 22, Tauke, and number 1, Stout, up high. Christy Cochran comes back in for Penn State.
And look for Bremner to immediately go to Cochran, establish her. She's a primary passer in that left back position, but she'll swing out to hit.
7-2. Nebraska just got a point. They get another one right here with a transition swing. Set right side, Maindring over the top. Quick set, stop. And on the spot was Tanya Tauke.
And Tauke historically has had great matches against Penn State. 2 years ago when they played, she had a career night, and she's hoping to do the same right now.
Good piece of scouting by Terry Pettit. Watch the film. Bremner likes to go to stout during transition. And Nebraska is jumping on it. Look at Kachiamani. Keeps it in play. Nebraska on the run. Fiona Nippo goes and gets it. Bremner, next play, didn't develop, and down the line, the ball's hit out. And you can feel Nebraska getting a little momentum now. 7-4. Game 1. National semifinal number 1, and Russ Rose takes timeout. So Penn State, after a good start, has given up 3 in a row. It's 7-4. And by Pringles. Once you pop, the fun won't stop. Big crowd in the Kohl Center. In the heart of Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner is Heather Cox. Penn State got off to a great start, 7-1. But Nebraska getting some momentum, has scored 3 in a row. 7-4 in game 1. Penn State, an undefeated team, coming into the final. Nebraska, 1 loss. And now it is 7-5.
And what a huge surprise after the timeout when they should have orchestrated a play, a miscommunication between the setter and the hitters. Krondak doing a nice job serving on this run.
Nebraska getting close, trailing now by just 2. Bremner out of the back line, that's appearance set. Nebraska should get another point. Nepo, back set, Maindring. Doing a pretty good job on Maindring so far. Schoenfeld, blocked. And the Penn State outside hitters have gone dry. They're not putting the ball down.
Well, and you can see why the Huskers are rated #1 in the nation in blocking. No seam, great penetration by Maindring and Tauke. That is a tough block to hit against.
Nebraska has fought back. They can tie on this play. Down by 1. That left side, Schoenfeld, checked it.
Right now, Bonnie Bremner has got to mix up the offense. Shot going to the outside. That's a huge block. Look at that. Tauke, Maindring, perfect penetration, and they are fired up. They have brought this team back from 7-1.
6 in a row for the Huskers. And the serve out of bounds. So good job of serving by Jamie Krondak. She came into the match with 37 aces and 31 errors. So that's a great serving percentage for her, and she has brought them back. Penn State now trying to regroup. Carrie Schoenfeld with the serve. Nepo out of the back line. No, over the top, no. Ball hit out.
Nice job by Penn State that time watching the attacks. Maindring will hit at all areas of the net. She's a right side player, but she likes to hit those crosses or those front twos. She'll even swing around to the outside.
Penn State regains the lead, 8-7. Nepo on the run. Nebraska needs to solidify its serve receive because they have Nepo running all over the place.
Yeah, as long as you pull Nepo off the net, it really makes Nebraska much easier to block because she has to go to the outside. Right now, Nepo changing the offense, trying to mix it up. You see her whispering into the air.
8 hitting errors for Nebraska. So Terry Pettit is going to take out his defensive specialist, Denise Kozel, and bring back his star middle blocker, Megan Korver. So Kozel was out, Korver back. Good pass there, Nepo. That's what Nebraska needs. Precision passing to run the triple option.
Well, that's what it's all about. Everybody says, you know, serving and passing is the name of this game. Well, serving and blocking got Nebraska back into it. But right now, the pass lets the options, all options are available, and Tauke fires up the bench.
Tauke is out. Nikki Hank comes back in. She had 13 digs in a 5-game match earlier this year. That was in the A&M loss. So she's a good defensive player. Cochran is rejected, and Nebraska's blocked in the right position. 9-8 on the big roof.
And still the Nittany Lions with just 1 kill from all 3 outside hitters. Cochran, Anderson, and Schoenfeld have not been able to produce so far.
4 stuff blacks so far for Nebraska, and another one. Korver was there with her pal Angie Oxley.
Korver so quick side to side. The key to being a good middle blocker is the side-to-side lateral movement. She gets there, closes the seam.
Second tie of this game. It's 9-9, and Penn State is starting to go into the shank tank.
Right now, they need to compose themselves. Bonnie Bremner, the captain of the team, looking at the team, asking for a pass. She's calling the signals, trying to mix things up.
The first lead of the match for Nebraska at 10-9, game 1. Here comes Cochran, and it's dug up. Trying to whip it out of the net. Was it touched by Korver? It was not. And Nebraska now up by 2. And timeout, Penn State. Penn State in trouble after having a big lead in game 1. We're coming back to the Kohl Center. Nebraska up 11-9. Vanderbilt taking on Indiana. And then in game 2, number 13, Florida will take on Illinois. That will be from Champaign. So women's collegiate basketball, don't miss it on ESPN2. Terry Pettit, one of the Masters, been the Big 12 Coach of the Year. Again named this year for the 9th time. He's got that award locked up.
And you look at that blocking stat, not once in this entire season has Penn State been out-blocked in a match. Well, in game 1, it's 5-2. That has been the difference. Nebraska making Penn State very predictable.
If you just joined us, Penn State led 7-1. Then Nebraska got 6 in a row to make it 7-7. Then Penn State got a couple of points to make it 9-7. But Nebraska coming on lately, scoring 5, and now it is 11-9. So Nebraska, the team in black, up by 2 in the critical game 1. After this play, we'll tell you how critical it is as that ball is hit out of bounds. Penn State, when it has won game 1, well, actually, they've won 33 of 34 matches when they win game 1. Nebraska is 29-1 when they win game 1. So this is a key one for both squads. 11-10, Meendering, popped up by Schoenfeld. A lot of scrambling by both teams. Neither team smooth right now. Left side, getting in late. Penn State with a block. That's Oxley on the left. Here comes Meendering. She tipped right there. Schoenfeld into Kachiamani. And it's still going. Nebraska looking for termination. Meendering. And Meendering puts it down the line. Let me give you a stat on Meendering, Heather. Coming into this match, she had 499 kills and 1,153 attempts. Those are Heather Cox type numbers.
That's a lot of swings. I can only think of one other player that maybe has that many attempts. Jenna Roble out of Michigan State, who averaged 6 kills per game all season long. Meendering now with the service error, but she has to be the go-to player, and she's proved to be that so far in this match.
Go-to lefty.
D1.
Yeah.
Nebraska always known for using an opposite player a lot more than most traditional college teams.
Nepo feeds Megan Korver. Korver hitting .369 on the year. And Korver, the senior out of Panama, Nebraska. 11-10 in game 1. Nebraska by 1. The server is Angie Oxley. 21 aces on the year. Right down the pipe. Passes off the net. Brenner steps left. Cochran dug up beautifully in the backcourt. Oxley got it up. Penn State trying to scramble, save a point. Nebraska with defense. Back set. Oh, in late is Krondak. She dinks long, and a nice play by the Penn State defense. And finally, it's Christy Cochran who puts it away.
And I think that's what the Penn State outsiders must do against this huge Husker block. Hit high hands, go off the fingertips. It's an unplayable ball if it deflects way into the backcourt.
So once again, the sophomore from Brasilia, Brazil comes in. Leilani Schlachtfeld. Watch this ball move if you can.
Great deep floater. She is at the very end of the court court. Makes it so hard to pass it. So much time to travel.
Nebraska by 1. Now we are tied once again. We were tied at 7. We were tied at 9, and now we're tied at 11. And the game is to 15.
Hitting errors are what have plagued the Huskers. 11 hitting errors right now. Penn State has just 7.
Schlachtfeld passes off the net. Nepo shoots it left side. Here comes Krondak. And Krondak puts it away. Hitting off the end blocker and out of bounds. So Jamie Krondak doing a good job on the left. And remember, she had that serving streak earlier of 6 in a row, and now Terry Pettit will sub again. Korver goes out. Kojul comes in. So Denise Kojul, who graduates in May. She's a spark off the bench. Tauke back in the front line. So both teams continue to substitute. They get to a point in this match. Oh! and Bremner with a slam dunk.
And that is the first time in this game, which is so unusual for Penn State, that Bremner has had a pass tight enough to the net to attack. Look at how quick she does this. So deceptive, puts both hands up, looks like she's going to set, and the last minute, just a whip-like arm.
Heather,
yes.
with authority.
With authority, you know it.
11 all. And that ball could not be brought up. Bouncing off the sport court. Sport court, the volleyball surface of the 90s. This is the Madison, Wisconsin version of the Wisconsin Badgers. Of course, John Cook, the coach up here, almost got Wisconsin into the national semifinals.
Points away, lost in 5 tough ones to Nebraska.
Fiona Nepo serving. And Nepo, good play. Schlotfeld, and another slam dunk with authority.
Well, leave it to Bonnie Bremner. She is the true leader on this team. She is just a junior, but since her freshman year, she has dominated at the net. She has taken it upon herself to take over. Somebody's got to block. It's the left side blocker for Nebraska that has to be up on Bremner.
That's going to be a point for Penn State. Ball was over the net, and it is 12 to 11. The Kohl Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner is Heather Cox. A great game one as Penn State leads Nebraska by a digit. Women's U.S. Cup Soccer is coming to the United States. The USA takes on Ukraine. That'll be on ESPN Sunday starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. You can watch the United States led by superstar Mia Hamm. If you've never seen her play soccer, she is marvelous. This tournament, the most prestigious annual women's event, conducted by the U.S. Soccer Federation. Once again, the United States takes on Ukraine. That's got to be a victory. Part of the crowd here at the Kohl Center. They sold over 12,000 tickets, and if that many people show up, it will set a new NCAA record. Fans are into it. They've come a long way from State College and from Lincoln, Nebraska. In parts unknown, Russ Rose, his squad, up by 1.
And they have never won a national title. He has been to the national championship. This is the 4th trip, and this is the year. Russ says if we don't do it this year, I don't know how long it's going to take to get back here.
Terry Pettit won his NCAA title in 1995. 17 straight appearances. 715 wins, 6th on the all-time list. Let's get back to the action now. Bonnie Bremner will serve. Once again, Penn State wearing white uniform. Nebraska in black. Ebb-flow kind of a match so far in game 1. Here's Fiona Nepo. She sets middle, maneuvering, and using the high 2, Heather, which you like, I know.
I love that as a lefty. It's very deceptive and actually quite hard to block. Maindring loves hitting that cross play. This is a huge rotation for Nebraska with Maindring, Kelke, and Oxley in the front court.
This is the rotation that did it for Nebraska early. Kondak with 6 straight points. Let's see how Penn State reacts. Here comes Schoenfeld. She tripped and stumbled. Nebraska can tie it up right here. Around the horn. No. The ball hit out. So Maindring's getting a lot of work, but he only has 4 kills. And that's the 12th hitting error for the Huskers.
Yeah, the Husker block has saved them in game 1. The serve and the block, the reason for their comeback here. They've got to continue to keep the ball in play, rely on their transition game and block to score points.
Cochran is back in left front for Penn State. Nepo, Kauke, did anybody touch it? No! 4 contacts, so Penn State gets a break, and it's 13 to 11. Once again, we're playing to 15, no cap, win by 2. Olstad.
Nebraska in a 2-hitter situation. Nepo, a front row attacker.
Nepo sets left. And was there a touch? No, there wasn't. And Penn State gets another point. So now the Penn State Nittany Lions trying to close it out. Russ Rose checking his notes. First game point. Nepo back set. Maindring is roof. And that will do it for game 1. 15 hitting errors for the Huskers. And Russ Rose's team is off to a good start. Penn State leading 1-0. We'll continue with more live volleyball on ESPN2 right after this. Stay with us. Center, a crowd of nearly 10,000. We're waiting for the official numbers. Game 1 going to Penn State, and it was a battle, Heather.
And hitting errors tell the entire story for Game 1. For Nebraska, they hit negative, meaning more errors than kills. That's what saved Penn State. They got back into it. Penn State only hit 135, and remember, this is a team that's led the nation in hitting percentage, averages about 360.
For your new volleyball fans, a hitting error is either when you hit the ball out, or you hit the ball into the net, or you get blocked. Good hitting error is getting blocked. At least you challenge it. Coaches don't like it. Russ Rose, he doesn't like it when his players hit out or hit into the net.
And he doesn't like it when his team hits below about 250. That number will not please him. 135 is just not going to do it. Terry Pettit's squad did a nice job blocking, actually out-blocked Penn State, but they've got to be a little bit more consistent at the net.
So here we go. Penn State relieved to get Game 1. Keep in mind, Penn State, one of only 3 teams that have ever come into the national semifinals undefeated. 2 of them are here this year. Of course, Long Beach State in semifinal number 2, and Penn State. Of course, the other team, the great UCLA team in 1992, that was eventually upset by Don Shaw's Stanford group. So here we go. Game 2. Penn State serving first. Maybe there's a good side, bad side. Let's see how Nebraska reacts on the near side of the court, or the far side, at least in this shot. With a bad pass and a bad set and a bad hit, but they got away with it. Left side, Cochran, and Cochran hits it off the block, out of bounds. She is a character, an avid weightlifter. She's she's the girlfriend of Former.
We got to keep our relationship straight here.
I got you. Dan Kendra, football player at Florida State. Maynard tries to jam, and the ball put away by Tonya Tauke. Tauke, 6th in career block assists at Nebraska. Consider all the great blockers they have had. That's pretty good. Just the start of Game 2. Penn State with a 1-0 lead. Hachimani rolling. Penn State chance for a point. Back set. They'd love to go to Maindring, and she responds.
And a great roll shot. That set actually about 3 or 4 feet off the net. You want to get it about a foot off the net. That's a perfect set for Maindring. But when you watch this delivery from Nepo, she's a good 4 or 5 feet off. So Maindring goes with the roll shot, and Penn State's defense just doesn't react quick enough.
Nebraska set the serve. Jenny Krondak. They're working on Schoenfeld. Anderson with the drive. Anderson has been quiet. Let's check her numbers. Just 2 kills for Lindsay Anderson. She has been on a hot streak lately.
And in fact, rewarded for that hot streak, a second-team All-American announced yesterday. Well deserved. She's been a great player for the Nittany Lions.
Ball dug nicely. That was Calma Miller, the defensive specialist. Cochran jams. Bremner on 2. Going to retrieve is Penn State. Free ball for Nebraska. Huskers on the attack. Maindring with the drive.
And as long as Nebraska can have a very consistent, good transition game, they should be in good shape here. Penn State, actually more of a finesse team. You see a lot of shots from the Nittany Lions. So as long as Nebraska can dig and convert those digs into some offense, they'll be okay.
Maindring warming up, rolling up the sleeves. Like to see that in women's collegiate volleyball. That means they're getting down to business. 1-1 Game 2. Penn State won the first. Bremner sets left. And a guide shot on the line. So Christy Cochran, we were mentioning her weightlifting abilities. Very powerful, arms and legs. She told me that she can bench just over 200 pounds now.
She is a workhorse in the gym. It's amazing to see that she's actually gotten stronger this year from last year. Russ Rose joked, yeah, she was a little soft last year. She was anything but soft.
Scrambling is Bremner. Left side. Both teams on the left side have had trouble terminating. So we're getting a lot of long routes.
And that's when transition becomes so important.
False flag. Oh, it was on the line.
Gary Schoenfeld, who all season long has been at that L2 position, the second outside hitter. Well, she said, I'm saving it for December. She has played the best volleyball of her career the last 2.5 weeks.
Good pass by Corver. Great dig by Nepo. Point blank range. Bremner tries to jam. You can't fall in love with that dump shot. Very demoralizing if you can't put it away. And the ball squeaking through the Nebraska block. Hachimani with 5 kills. Now Penn State will serve. Tipping it over, Fiona Nepo. Once again, the hole in the donut. Little campfire defense, and Nepo saw it.
And 2 out of 3 times, Nepo has been successful with that. Both of these setters like to attack the ball, but in different ways. Nepo stays flat-foot a little bit more often and shoots the ball over.
Jam coming. Bremner goes and gets it. Kachimani on one. Ball dug up. Nebraska on defense. Bremner, that's when she's really dangerous.
Yeah, once she gets one, even a 2-step approach, she's hitting that ball like an attacker. There's no dump in that attack. Nothing but power.
Russ Rose told me that she has improved in every aspect of her game this year, gotten physically stronger. As T. Bowie comes in, the 5'7" senior from Fort Washington, Maryland, having a good year as a defensive specialist. 10 aces and 8 errors. T. Bowie in the backcourt. Ball is blocked, and that's going to be a point. Number 7 in on it, Carrie Schoenfeld, the most valuable player of the Central region. She was on fire, according to the coaches, and she has been playing well.
And a great left side blocker. You see, she moves out. She's still drifting, which is a no-no in blocking, but she turns that left hand in to stop it.
Megan Korver, I'd like to see Nebraska utilize their middles a little bit more. It seems like Nepo is setting a lot outside. You can wear out your outside hitters. I'd like to see her go to Korver more if she can and get the ball also to Tauke.
And traditionally, Korver is used to attacking the ball quite a bit, averages almost 3.5 kills per game, good for second on the team.
4-2. Make that 4-1, Nebraska. Trailing. Kind of a carbon copy of game 1 when Penn State jumped out 7-1. A lot of Nebraska errors in game 1. And now Penn State will have it. Bonnie Bremner sets the serve. Of course, her sister Julie leading UCLA to the national title back in '91 and then playing on the national team. Bowie, back set. Here comes Anderson. Ball dug up. Nice play by Maindring. Left set left. Stretching in. Krondak is dug. Bremner sets left. And the put away. Good shot by Schoenfeld.
And Penn State's outside hitters are coming alive. 4 kills for Schoenfeld. Cochran right now has 3, so a lot more balance. 2 for Anderson, so more balance than we saw in the first game.
Terry Pettit going to substitute. Angie Oxley will go out. And Mandy Monson comes in.
Monson has been the starter the last couple of weeks, beat Oxley out after their only loss this season.
Nepo again. Penn State got it that time. Ibui, no, it's too long. If you're wondering, Ibui has had 2 kills this year. So chalk that up as a hitting error. 5-1 Penn State. As Nebraska sets the serve, Nebraska defeated Morgan State 3-0, got past. Their second round game is 3-1, then squeezed by Pepperdine 3-2, and then squeaked by Wisconsin 3-2. So they had a tough road in the Pacific region. Nepo sets left. Great set. Krondak last set, and it drops by her foot. Number 4, Mandy Monson got a good look at it. My old coach, Jack Henn, said, Chris, if it hits you in the foot, you got to take it. And well, this was close.
And this is not Krondak's ball, though. This is her back row coverage. Has got to take that ball, communicate that it's in.
Maindring and Maindring. Little confusion on defense for Penn State. And Maindring gets the kill. She's got 7. Let's check the kill total. Maindring with 7. Krondak with 3. Korver with 2. Tauke with 3. Low numbers because they've had a lot of hitting it.
But good distribution. Nepo really trying to distribute. I'd like to see her go to the middle a little bit more.
Ball dug, going, gone. This is game 2. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox on the deuce with you. National semifinal number 1. Penn State 34-0, Nebraska 32-1. Huge crowd on hand to witness it. Winner goes on to the national championship final. You'll see that on ESPN2 on Saturday. As that ball is blocked out of bounds, and Nebraska will have it back.
Terry Pettit calling the signal. That's a serving signal. That 5 means down the line. Krondak, the best server on the team. Look for her to go deep corner to Cochran.
Trying to get the ball to Cochran. She passes it off the net. Here she comes, and there it goes.
And that's Cochran's game. A lot of coaches try to attack Cochran, make her pass the ball so she can't hit, but she's the type of player that's better in rhythm, likes as many touches on the ball as possible.
So far, Nebraska no blocks in this game. One of the reasons they're trailing. Bremner blasts it. Nepo can't bring it up. So Bonnie Bremner, who was just named to the first team All-America squad, and she gives Penn State their 6 points. So just like they were in game one, Terry Pettit and his Huskers find themselves trailing Penn State. We'll continue more coverage, live volleyball, after this.
You're invited to visit.
Winning game one, 15-11. Nittany Lions jumping on Nebraska in game two, 6-1. If you're wondering about the other NCAA women's semifinal, semifinal number 2, we will show you that tomorrow evening. Florida and Long Beach State. That's on the Deuce. Midnight Eastern time, 9 o'clock Pacific. Florida, Long Beach State. That should be a good one. In the Kohl Center, game 2. Penn State playing better now. Nebraska not blocking and not putting the ball away. Just like that. Penn State able to get balls up and transition. What's wrong with Nebraska now?
I still think the hitting errors are plaguing them. Also, the passes are a little off the net. Nepo struggling to force the middle. I think she needs to try and go to Tauke and Korver a little bit more.
Nikki Hank comes in. She replaces Tauke. They alternate.
You can see her chewing on that gum. Superstitious extra wintergreen gum, 1 stick before every match. Plays without fail.
All right. Tipping Trump on a dig. There's the Nebraska block, the first one for game 2. Boy, this game is close. That's how Nebraska caught up in game 1 by getting some stuff blocks.
Nice movement to the outside. We saw a replay earlier where Penn State's outside drifted. That was a perfect left side block, straight up and over.
Good pass, Brendert. And Kachiamani drives it down. If you're wondering about Penn State's road to the national semifinal, they beat Bucknell in the first round 3-0, swept Clemson 3-0. Then they knocked off Louisville 3-0. And then they grinded past BYU. It was also 3-0, but a much tougher match. Keep in mind, as Heather told you earlier, Penn State has only lost 3 games all year.
And that last game, a very long time ago in the world of volleyball, October 10th, the last time that they lost a game to Wisconsin. They won in 4, but they did lose a game, but that was a very long time ago.
There's Maindring. She has some great nicknames. They call her Stretch, and they call her Neanderthal. I think I'd take Stretch.
I think so, too.
Here's Schoenfeld down the line. Nice dig. In the back line, that was Hank who got it up. Joust is coming. Korver Bremner. Into the back line. Good up. Bremner sets left one-on-one. Oh, good dig, but it's going out of... Oh, Nepo goes and gets it. Credit for the dig to Klondike. Crowd likes the defense. Bremner. Nebraska is there. Schlattfeld read it, and Kachiamani puts it away. 7 kills for Lauren Kachiamani. That will wake up the Penn State fans.
And the reason she's getting her kills is she's attacking from different points across the net in every transition play.
You have to give a lot of credit to Fiona Nepo. Fiona is getting virtually a lousy pass every time, and she is doing her darndest to try to create one-on-one and get the ball to her hitters in a decent spot.
She's having to push a lot of steps.
That's a pretty good pass. Great dig up and hits the scoreboard. And I believe we're playing the scoreboard as long as it stays on your side. If it hits, that one came back. You got to go, go, go. 3 staccato goes, and you've got it.
They've got to follow that. Great dig, channeling cross-court contact is all over it, but a bit too high to keep in play.
I used to kid Doug Beal when I was on the Olympic team. I said, forget about running and lifting. What they should do is throw the balls up into the scoreboard and see who can play the ball out. That's how you should be chosen for the national team. Or throw the balls into the net.
I want to go to those tryouts.
Yeah. You'd be amazed at how spazzy some people are on that. All right, Penn State with a loop, and it's out of the reach of defensive specialist Nikki Hank.
And Chris, that's the finesse I talked about with Penn State. They have the power to attack the ball whenever they want, but 1 out of 3 attacks is a roll shot or a tip. They're finding the deep corners that are open in Nebraska's defense.
Penn State's Russ Rose, known for his preparation and fundamentals. His team normally in the right spot. He relies on his setter as Tanya Tauke comes back in. Nebraska is just not smooth at the moment. A little bit erratic. Sometimes they're good at the net, sometimes they're not. And here's Denise Kozel, junior from Nebraska. Ball dug up. Nice play by Schlattfeld. Kachiamani out of the back line. And that's something that I really like that Penn State does. When they set a back row attack to one of their players, they really lead them. They set it at the 5-foot line. A lot of teams don't do that.
That's the best way to attack. Look at how far Lauren has to lean in to reach that ball. She says that's a perfect set, Bonnie. 7 kills now for Kachiamani.
Back line. Tauke dug. Chance for point. Low set. Here comes Cochran. She's blocked. Dug up by Penn State. Penn State scrambling. It's 8-2. Nebraska needs this one. They need termination. Tauke!
And that's what it takes, Chris. On that play, Fiona Nepo got the perfect pass off of the shot by Cochran. When Fiona Nepo's at the net, she can go to all three hitters, and Tanya Tauke was one-on-one.
Fiona Nepo graduated from University High in Honolulu. A lot of pressure for her to stay in the island, but chose to go to Nebraska. Said she wanted to get off the rock. She wanted to see what life was about.
Said she came into the Nebraska Coliseum, decided she was going to play there, but was scared to death to tell her parents. In fact, it took her days to tell her that she was actually going to commit.
Nepo with the serve. It's 8-3 now. One thing about Nebraska, they have great comeback ability because they serve well and they block great.
And they have shown that throughout this entire tournament. A 3-2 game against Wisconsin actually overcame a 2-1 deficit in both that match and the 5-gamer over Pepperdine.
There's number 17, Calvin Miller, the sophomore from Pittsburgh. Russ Rose and his coaching staff, Aaron Appleman and Mike Shaw, taking notes. Dissecting this one, they lead 8-3. Mingering dug off beautifully. Schoenfeld got the dig. Anderson is rejected. Boy, I tell you, Nebraska blockers are beautifully coached. They keep their, not only do they roll up their sleeves, but they get some work done. They're up high.
Well, I think Terry Pettit is one of the best blocking coaches in the nation. You can tell by the footwork the scheme is perfect against Penn State.
Serving was Brondak. This is a very good rotation for Nebraska. Maybe the best. Maindering. Really not getting any heat on the ball right now. Well, maybe you don't want it. Maybe you want to keep the ball in play. Maindering was there.
And that time, Christy Cochran thought she had nothing but steam to just slam the ball. You saw how low and tight she was hitting the ball, but that's a credit to Nebraska's block. Tanya Tauke got to the outside to close.
Is Nebraska getting momentum? It's 8-4. Huskers looking for another point if they can. The ball might have been out. Chasing is Miller. Hey, if it's close, it's better to take it if you got a shot at it. Nepo, quick set, Tauke. Maindering. Oh, what a dig! Bonnie Bremer off the chest. Here comes Maindering again. And Bremner is there again. Nebraska scrambling. Center again. Digger again. Yes, she did! She did! And Penn State keeps in play. Now Nebraska needs to terminate. Maindering, huffing and puffing. Down the line, ball blocked up. And shot into the corner at Penn State. Wow!
Bonnie Bremner, the MVP of that rally. 3 digs by Bremner. Look at her footwork. She's down low. She's groveling. She's digging nails. She's all over Nancy Maindering. And then at the very end, just shoots it over. 6 kills now for Bremner. We'll give that a kill.
What a rally. Penn State gets it. See how Nebraska reacts. Maindering, she's getting a lot of work. They're going to her too much, you think?
She's having to work hard. Well, sometimes when you get in a flow, especially in one rally, it's good to keep going back to her because they're just going to hit harder and harder. But she's got to be breathing pretty heavy right about now.
19 hitting errors. Tauke dug up. Boy, good floor defense for Penn State at the moment. Into Tauke again. Bremner on the run, back set, Anderson, tip, good play, off the net. That was Monson retreating. Corver down the line. Anderson is there, into the middle, Kachiamani, tip, scooped up, Trondak on her belly. Bremner tries to jam it, and she does. Bonnie Bremner, so experienced. Been playing that position, 5-1 setter for a long, long time. Grew up in the Sports Performance Club team out of Chicago.
And a lot of people think Bremner has more reps on the ball than any other player in college volleyball right now.
Penn State, another spectacular play. 10-4. Nebraska trying to terminate. Maindering plowing. And another dig by Penn State. Gonna check the digs out somewhere along here. And the ball hit out of bounds. So Nebraska trailing 10-4. Some great effort in the backcourt.
Penn State's defense allows for a lot of overhand digs, and you see the hustle firsthand. Our cameraman taking a beating for it.
Wearing some nice-looking Keds there, wasn't he? Ace.
The third Nebraska ace, we talked about it earlier, they will win this match on serving and blocking.
Bremner, combination play. That's an interesting play. It's almost a left X. as Cacciamani comes in and takes a blocker, and you get a little one-on-one here. Good set.
Right here, Cacciamani goes in hard, holds the blocker, gives Cochran a one-on-one hitting opportunity, and right now Cochran has to thank her roommate, Bonnie Bremner, for getting her that one-on-one look.
Penn State won game 1, 15-11. The Sea Lions lead here in game 2, 10-5. They've done it with defense. Penn State out-digging Nebraska at the moment, 48-35. Many of the spectacular variety.
And history tells us, looking at the stat page, Nebraska, the better defensive team throughout the season, averaging almost 3 more digs per game.
Bremner slams another one. So what can you do about Bonnie Bremner? She is a free spirit.
You know, you asked that question, and I asked a lot of coaches, how do you slow setters like Bonnie Bremner and Misty May? A lot of people said, what you have to do is not watch her. She's so tricky, has such footwork, and is so deceptive that you can't really watch her. You have to be up on her on a tight play to block her, but don't get too distracted by all her movements.
I think with Bremner, you really have to block cross court. If you jump, I think a lot of players make the bad move of blocking right in front of her. She's jamming cross court and hitting cross court all the time. Yeah, get in the middle and make her go down the line. That's the shot. That's the shot that Marlo would stuff and Heather would be tools. No, I'm get your right hand over on her.
But you're right,
Yeah?
Nebraska has to adjust both the left side and the middle. Need to move a foot to their right.
10-5. I tell you what, that can be very demoralizing, too, because the back row players from Nebraska are constantly telling the front row players, watch the setter, watch the dump, watch the hit, and if you can't block her, it can really cause some dissension on the team. So Tanya Tauke comes back in. Nikki Hank goes out. Fiona Nepo trying to get some good passes so they can steady out. Nebraska not out of it. They had a great comeback in game 1. Can they do it here in game 2? At least they've stopped the bleeding at the moment. It's 10-5. Chance for a point here. Krondak. Off speed. Penn State goes and gets it. Stout. Someone touched the net, and it was Stout. So a point to Nebraska.
Very hard as the middle blocker. You always want to follow through on your attack, but if you have a tight one set, those really quick low sets, you cannot follow through because your arm will go right into the net.
Megan Korver set to serve. Her dad, an NFL football player, as I'm told, for the Oakland Raiders. And she is built. She is a stud.
Yeah, in fact, she started out as a violinist, was very into the symphony and music, but had such an athletic background, was such a great athlete. She actually said, I was kind of forced to give up the violin. I didn't want to, but I was such a good athlete, I had to do it.
Dad said, forget about that. Let's go out to the blocking sled. We're at the Kohl Center here in Madison, Wisconsin. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. 10-6. Penn State leading Nebraska, two of the great teams in the nation. Nebraska with one loss. Penn State undefeated. Critical point of the match. Nebraska trying to make a run, and they're going to get a point. And Fiona Nepo, you can see it. She's starting to feed those middle players, and they're getting timing, especially Tauke.
Well, Nepo's starting to get in a little bit more rhythm because Nebraska's passing a faster ball, so Nepo's able to set a faster ball. Nepo getting the free call. That's a short serve to Cochran.
Anderson blocked, laid up. Remember on that first contact, you can flip it up there kind of missily, and it still goes. Anything goes on that play. And so Penn State will have the ball back.
And Emily Stout's doing a great job filling in for Terry Zamitis. Russ Rose said she is the key to winning a national championship, and she's carrying her weight.
Maindering thunders it through. Maindering going to Western Christian High School in Hull, Iowa.
And again, the X-play, I think she's hitting about 1,000 out of the middle on the X-play. Deceptive. The blockers have to wait on that play.
That pass and the slam jump right there. Mandy Monson. Monson with determination. She's a junior out of Wallace, Nebraska. A lot of Huskers on this Husker squad. And a timeout called by Penn State. Now, Penn State still leads 1-0 in 10-7, but Nebraska starting to peck away.
Hi, we're in Miami. We've got a sink. New Perk Plus with...
Back in Madison, Wisconsin, the crowd is alive. Penn State winning game 1. Penn State leading here in game 2. Two of the great coaches in the history of women's collegiate volleyball. Russ Rose, Penn State on the left. Terry Pettit, Nebraska on the right. Nebraska in the dark uniforms. has been erratic, but they're still in the match. They lost the first game, but they're coming back here in game 2. They need to start blocking. They need to start digging. That ball put away by Lauren Kachiamani. A little trick play, a little 3 to the step in.
Yeah, they call it run the dog. Lauren will actually just yell, run the dog, Bonnie, and she does just that off of one leg, a lot like a backslide, but in front of the setter.
Here comes Maindring. She's got 2 on her. She goes over the top and out. So a hitting error. Hitting errors been the bane of the existence for Terry Pettit. 20 hitting errors through 2 games for the Huskers. Nepo can't get there.
And she just can't get a pass. Penn State doing a nice job serving the seams, not allowing Nebraska to get a good solid pass up to Nepo.
Penn State closing in now. Just 3 points away. Maindring. Remner tries to slam it. Left side, Cochran.
And Cochran in the outside hitter for Penn State, coming alive after just 3 kills for all the outside hitters for Penn State in game 1. They've got 13 now in game 2.
So the Penn State Nittany Lions looking very good right now. They lead here in game 2, 13-7. A little golf coming up. It will be this Saturday on ABC Sports. Now remember the 3-Tour Challenge. That'll start at 1:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. It's the Wendy's 3-Tour Challenge from Las Vegas, Nevada. Watch the stars of the PGA, the LPGA, and the Senior Tours. Dale Irwin, Fred Couples, Avery Pock in the field. That's the 3-Tour Challenge on ABC. That is Saturday. Well, it's been the Bonnie Bremner show for Penn State, and there's a good look at her sister, Julie Bremner, a great player in her own right.
Actually, a little too great. Actually had a chance to play against her. She was at UCLA, won a title in '91, and part of that undefeated team in '92 until they lost to Stanford. Her younger sister doing a great job. You know, it's funny. Bonnie was saying, when I came home last year and we'd lost to Stanford, I was expecting a little love, a little support from my family. Julie said, why didn't you guys win? And Julie pulls out that national championship ring, and, you know, one sister's got it, the other one hoping to get it.
So Nebraska trying to fight its way back. After losing game 1, they trail here in game 2. Penn State has played a little more consistently. Nebraska has had 2 problems, passing well and hitting errors. And that adds up to a .083 hitting percentage. Penn State hasn't been great, but they've been acceptable at .235. And there's the passing that has gotten them in trouble. So Megan Korver can't handle that one. And it's 14-7. So Penn State.
And look for them to go right back to Korver.
Nepo, middle, Maindring. Maybe that's a play they can utilize. Of course, if you get good passing, Nepo can move it.
And that's exactly the key for Penn State. They know that they have to serve tough. In fact, the Nittany Lions willing to take some risks on serves to do just that. Maindring, an absolute side-out machine. 12 kills now to lead all players on the court. In fact, the only Husker in double digits.
First game point for Nebraska. This is Hank serving. Nebraska on the attack. And the put away.
You know, it's surprising me that Penn State is not putting up 2 blockers. When they see Maindring coming across in front of the setter for a 2-hit, there's plenty of time to get blockers up. Look for Russ Rose to make that adjustment after game 2.
14-8 now. Penn State continues to lead. If anything, Nebraska wants to get a little momentum for the next game. Once again, it's best 3 out of 5. Nikki Hank already has a couple service winners today as Calvin Miller comes in.
Don't forget, Husker fans, game 2 in the regional finals, 14-9, Wisconsin was up. They fought off 14 game points to come back and win that game, so they know they can do it.
Maindring takes a whack at it. Bremner, and the put away registered by Lauren Kachiamani.
So they fought off 2 game points. They've done it before where they fought off 14 game points to actually come back and win.
Penn State trying to wrap it up. Not yet. Left side Maindring. Up high. The tip. Yes. Put away. Lauren Kachiamani. So Penn State still has not lost a game in the NCAA tournament. And now Russ Rose and his Nittany Lions are in a commanding position. They lead it 2-0. Stay with us. We'll come back. We'll talk stats and highlights. We'll recap. We'll talk about the new FIVB rules. All on the Deuce right after this commercial timeout. Center after 2 games. Penn State leading Nebraska 2-0. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. An interesting first couple of games. Penn State got off to great starts in both. Nebraska coming back and making it a game in game 1. Penn State playing a little more smoothly right now.
Well, I'm impressed with their transition game, and Bonnie Bremner has just been fabulous. 8 kills for a setter. It's hard to believe and hard to stop, and we talked about some adjustments that Nebraska has to do. The Huskers, on the other hand, great serving, great blocking, but they have not been consistent enough at the net, and I don't think they've been as balanced as they could be because they really don't have the serving that they need.
Gary Pettit right now in between matches probably talking to his team. We've got to pass better, and we've got to hit the ball in the court. 2 things.
Well, when you have one of the best setters in the country in Fiona Nepo, you have to give her the ability and give her the passes to show off just how very good she is. So get her pass tight to the net, let her attack, and let her distribute the ball.
Bonnie Bremner has been the star for Penn State. She's dishing, she's digging, she's hitting, she's blocking, she's doing it all. And right now, Penn State with a commanding 2-0 lead. We'll come back. We'll talk about the FIVB rules right after. Welcome back to Madison, Wisconsin. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. Penn State leading Nebraska 2-0. Well, about a month and a half ago, the International Volleyball Association called the FIVB, enacted some new rules, and they're rules that have the collegiate volleyball consistency really talking about it. And it's going to affect volleyball all over the country, won't it?
Right. It's something that college hasn't adopted yet. They're talking about it this week, but the FIVB International Volleyball will use it as of the 1st of January. It's a best of 5 sets. The first 4 sets are at 25 points, all rally scoring. That's the huge change. The 5th set, still to 15 points. Each must win by 2. In the rally point scoring system, each rally wins a point, whether serving or receiving. But in the regular traditional side out, you can only score when you're serving. That's the biggest difference.
We wanted to know what the coaches thought a little earlier this week. We recorded some sound bites for you. Check these out. What coaches think of the new rally scoring systems? Here they are.
The opportunity I've had to see in coaching college matches, the greatest matches have been matches where teams have made great comebacks. And with the scoring we have now with side outs, it allows comebacks. And we just went through a match last week in Nebraska where it just went back and forth in an 18-16 game. And I mean, that's one of the most exciting things about volleyball. And I've heard and I've watched the rally score, and it doesn't allow for that to happen in volleyball. And I think that's what makes our sport unique.
I'm an old school guy too, and I like the side out because it becomes a who blinks first type of competition and a good side out match where you're forcing rotations and you're taking it long. I think that's exciting, but I have to be more open-minded to the people that would be the casual observer, somebody new coming in, and they may not understand that subtlety of interest. And so, you know, I think rally scoring is the best alternative to that.
So I don't know what this is going to do to the women's game. I worry about the matches. It could be 40, 43 minutes. You know, if I took my wife and 2 kids for an evening and we paid $20, $25 to go to a match, or maybe in some cases $50, and it's over in 40 minutes, you know, we've just gotten the Cokes and the popcorn, and we're ready to sit down and watch the match, and it's over, you know, if there's a mismatch. So I don't know how that's going to work.
You know, that Mick Haley, he's such a cheapskate. It's only $1 a minute. Come on. He's got that big USA national team contract. What do you think of the new rules?
Well, you know what? I'm a traditionalist. I played in the side-out scoring format. I like it because it allows you to take risks. It also allows you to come back. I like the rally scoring in the 5th game. It's a new element, a new strategy. But ultimately, I say let's leave it up to the experts to do what's best for, you know, for the exposure and the growth of the sport. It's not up to me. That I like the risk-taking of it.
All right, I'm going to say give it a try.
I knew you would.
5th games have been some of the most exciting games we've ever called. They go fast, they go great. In the Olympics, it was the Netherlands and I believe in Brazil going down to the final wire. So we're going to come back. We'll see. Rules changes. We'll get back to you later. All right, we're coming back. We're in between games. Can Nebraska come back? We'll find out right after this.
We wish you and the Mizuki. We wish.
Welcome back to Madison, Wisconsin. Penn State leading Nebraska 2-0. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox were just about set for the start of Game 3. Let's go over to Heather Cox, who's standing by with Russ Rose. Heather?
All right, Coach Rose, early leads in both Game 1s and Game 2, then a little bit of a let-up by Penn State in the middle of the game. How are you going to avoid that in Game 3?
Well, I don't know if we really let up. I think Nebraska's got a great block. They served us tough, but, you know, to be 2-0 at this point, we feel pretty good. You know, we gotta get the first side out and see if we can get some points early and move with it. I want to say hi to my boys back home. That's my children, not the hoodlums in the neighborhood.
All right, Russ, best of luck in Game 3. And don't forget, nobody has ever come back down 2-0 in a national semifinal game.
All right, Heather Cox, let's take a look at the numbers. Penn State out killing Nebraska. Nebraska the advantage in blocks, but look at the hitting errors, 20-13. And what you don't see up there is bad passing, so the opportunity's not coming smoothly for Nebraska. Well, let's see if Nebraska can rally. Fiona Nepo will start serving. Once again, the step-in start. And Cochran throws it off ahead and down. So Penn State wearing the white uniforms. If they win one here, they will be in our national championship final. We'll come to you on the Deuce on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. That put away Main Dream. Sometimes a team can be rejuvenated down 2-0.
It certainly happened last year in the finals. Penn State was down 2-0 and actually fought back to win the next 2 games and then ended up losing in 5 to Stanford. But that's the beauty of side-out scoring. Anything can happen in the game of volleyball.
Nepo back set and the put away. So interestingly, Katie Yonke is going to get a start. She's a sophomore from West Bend, Wisconsin, a local. And Terry Pettit probably figuring, let's put her in and see what she can do. The Yonke is in, getting the start. Here comes Kachiamani. And on the left, the ball hit out of bounds by Nope. Call the touch. Call the touch.
And, you know, Chris, it's interesting to see Yonke getting the start. A local player, actually at the beginning of the season, put a sign up in the Nebraska locker room that said National Championship or Bust. Throughout the season, she brought in a little Badger, a Badger Avenue sign, all sorts of little things to motivate this squad, and I think that's exactly why she's in the match right now.
Set high left. Schoenfeld takes that angle very well. Nepo, high 2. Jam coming, and getting in the face of Bonnie Bremner is Mandy Munson. She stuffs her and then gives her 32 teeth.
And I love the adjustment. Mandy Monson knows anytime Bonnie Bremner has to jump, Mountain has to jump with her.
That could be a good omen for Nebraska.
There's the calls by Bremner. That thumb, that hitchhiker look is a slide to Kachiamani behind the setter. There she goes.
Here it comes, Kachiamani. Duck. Nepo was there. Into the middle. Main ring. Big blast. Schoenfeld is there again. And the double put away, Monson. So Monson whooping it up. And Nebraska off to a quick start. This is something they did not do in the first 2 games. They lead it 4-0.
Mandy Monson playing the best ball of the season after jumping into the starting lineup after a loss to A&M, and she has been a huge boost to this offense.
And the put away. Penn State's not a team to get rattled. A veteran team, lots of seniors, lots of experience in the NCAA championship final a year ago. As Leilani Schlotfeldt will check in. Cochran goes out, Schlotfeldt set to serve. Schlotfeldt's a pretty good player. Good in the back row.
Great deep serve. You see how far she is behind the end line.
Good pass, though. And a slam tip. So good passing so far for Nebraska as the Huskers on top 4-0. Penn State's Russ Rose, he's won 59 straight games. Of course, all the matches he is undefeated. But 59 straight games, not matches, games. And going out now is Yonke. Yonke out for a moment. And she is replaced by Nikki Hank in the backcourt special. Ball dug up. Nebraska looking. And Korver on the line. So Megan Korver, you know, Nebraska could use Korver to get on fire, as you say, Heather.
Well, she's somebody that has the ability to light it up, but what it takes is a good pass. Middle blockers have to have a good pass. So hard for the setter to force the middle when she's off the net. 4 kills now for Korver. That's just a little bit above her 1 game average. So way below in this game. They need her in game 3 to step up.
Got to start feeding Megan Korver. Shank pass, ace. So the Huskers coming now 6-0. And the 3rd ace for Nikki Hank in this match. And Russ Rose has seen enough. Timeout, Nittany Lions. So Penn State leads the match 2-0, but renewed vigor from the Nebraska Huskers, who lead here in game 3.
Fact, built by Black & Decker.
National semifinal number 1, Nebraska coming alive here in game 3. We want to remind you one more time. A women's college basketball doubleheader Saturday on the Deuce, the Big Ten SEC Challenge. The Commodores of Vanderbilt going up against the Hoosiers in game 1. And then number 13, Florida, taking on the Fighting Illini. That will come to you from Champaign, all on ESPN2. Great women's basketball season so far. Lots of strange things happening.
Very impressive. Tennessee not number 1. That's something new.
that's a story right there, as Lauren Cacciamani puts the ball away. Cacciamani, the first-team All-America. She's got 12 kills and a block.
And hitting with such consistency, hitting .333. That's a great stat in these first 2 games.
Nepo into the middle, trying to get Korver going. Bremner, and she is stuffed again. And once again, it is Monson. And the down referee says, Monson, shut up. Watch her face. Watch the scream at the end of the play, Heather.
Well, Monson knows the only way you can beat Penn State is to shut down Bonnie Bremner. So she not only shuts them down, but fires up her team and gets a warning because of it.
Blockers are yakking, and Bremner throws one through, and they're going to call lift.
What a competitor. Bonnie Bremner going right back to the play that 2 times prior did not work against Mandy Monson.
So Bremner, number 3 in white, going at it with number 4 in black, Mandy Monson. Korver got it. You know, sometimes when you feed one of your big players, they'll start to block for you. And I think for Nebraska to have a chance, they got to feed Korver and Tauke once again and get them involved.
Yeah, exactly. Get them involved. It doesn't matter whether it's blocking or hitting at the net, but get them into the rhythm of their game that they're accustomed to.
Monson with the serve. Great pass. Back set. Here comes Anderson, and she puts it away.
And once again, Bonnie Bremner with the good pass, getting Anderson one-on-one. 99% of the time, Anderson will put that ball away if she's only got 1 blocker up.
Excuse me, I correct that. That was Terry Schoenfeld with the put away there. And Schoenfeld will get the 8. Now, Schoenfeld and Anderson look a little bit alike.
Very alike.
I've discovered. Schoenfeld is number 7. Anderson is number 8.
And Schoenfeld back at the line serving is actually called the White House, or Whitey. Russ Rose nicknamed her because of her white hair. In case you couldn't guess.
Nepo and Korver unable to connect. Penn State gets the point. It's 6-2. And now Nebraska going to sub. Coming back in will be Katie Yonke. Who's going out as Hank.
Yonke, a sophomore, but last year was the 97 Big 12 newcomer of the year. This year, not getting much playing time.
Left side, a little tight, but putting it away anyway is Jamie Krondak, who's hitting 60 points higher this year than she did last year. Much improved on the left.
They, right now, picking up her 4th kill. Outside covering right below 200 as a team for Nebraska. They need to inch that up.
Korver with the serve. Quick set, and Emily Stout wide open. One thing about Yonke, she's 6 feet, which is relatively short for a middle blocker these days, so Penn State could attack the middle.
And Yonke's only played in 26 games this season. To compare that, you know, right around 100, 120 games is what the average player has played. So Bremner doing a nice job recognizing the rookies in and going after her.
Penn State can get a point right here. And Anderson is dug. Anderson sets middle. Nice play by Korver. And off the hands, I think there was a touch. I thought I saw a putty tat, and I did. Nebraska has it. 6-2 Huskers in game 3. Winner goes on to play in the national championship final against either Florida or Long Beach State. Good shot by Cochran. That's her play. She likes it fast. Don't set her too high.
Well, she's so quick, so explosive, sort of has that fast twitch muscle that gets her up in the air and swinging before the block is over the net. 9 kills now for Christy Cochran.
Anderson too long. Score remains 6-2. Now Nebraska will put the ball back in play. Amy Krondak will serve well earlier tonight, especially in game 1. She serves a rocket. It's played up pretty well. Here comes Cochran. And it's over the top. Diggable ball. Cochran's got a lot more heat than she had last year, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. And she said she attributes that to more and more work in the weight room. Also, she said, Bremner's getting me more sets. She said, I'm a roommate. She promised me at the beginning of the year, if I made my bed and cleaned up my dishes, I'd get more sets.
Schoenfeld going deep. Nebraska. Here comes Maindring. And Maindring shoves it out of bounds. Point, Penn State. You can feel the Lions starting to get a little momentum here, and Terry Pettit calls timeout. So we're going to take a short break. Nebraska leading here in game 3, but Penn State starting to mobilize.
Great American Oak Depot.
Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox back at the Kohl Center, Madison, Wisconsin. Penn State leading Nebraska 2-0. 1999, the Women's World Cup is coming to America. Join ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC next year as their Norwegian team tries to defend its World Cup title here in the United States. Watch the best of women's soccer in the World Cup only on ESPN, The Deuce, and ABC. We're in the midst of game 3. Nebraska trying to hang on here. They have a 6-3 lead. As Penn State now makes it 6-4. Once again, the Kohl Center. A great place for volleyball. We're playing on Sport Court. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox. Glad you're with us for live volleyball on the Deuce. National semifinal number 1. Chance to see volleyball in its entirety. We're staying with this one. And down the line, it's in. Mandy Munson. Oh, check that. The head referee motioned in, but then it was called out by one of the linesperson and overruled.
And very interesting, Christy Cochran got to stay in. Russ Rose, anticipating a long game here in game 3, gets to stay in and serve, and she is the reason behind this run. It was 6-2, now suddenly 6-5, thanks to Cochran serving.
Bremner tries to pop it over. Long Beach losing a little steam. That's a good one right there. Katie Yonke led her high school to 2 state titles. Now contributing. Now she'll go out, and you wonder, if you're a volleyball fan, why is she going out? Well, this woman, Nikki Hank, is a better defender, maybe a little better server, so she'll serve and play.
Allowed 12 substitutions in each game.
3 aces so far. Cacciamani tip, no. So a hitting error by Lauren Cacciamani, trying to be a little 2-5, and Nebraska leads it 7-5. Desperation time for the Huskers. They got to have this one, or they're going home.
And Nebraska is a team that can come back. They proved it in their 2 wins to get here against Wisconsin and Pepperdine.
Maindring is dug. Bremner slams it, and Munson is there again. And Bremner, I think it's personal now.
Oh, yeah.
Bremner just wants to jam it down, and Munson is getting her.
And Bremner's got to get over that. She cannot continue to do what's not going to work. 3 for 3, Mandy Munson against Bonnie Bremner.
Here comes another one. Do it again.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. And they stuff her again. So that time, Munson, she said to Megan Korver, you do it to her. You jam her.
Bonnie Bremner came into game 3 with 8 kills. She's already had 4 hitting errors in this 3rd game.
On that same exact play. The pass is tight. Now Miller, Calvin Miller will go out. Stout is back in. 12 blocks by Nebraska, but remember, most of those coming in game 1. Let's see if they try it again. Can't do it that time. Bremner on the run. Over the top and down. Carrie Schoenfeld.
That's the perfect place for Schoenfeld to hit up against 2 blockers. The Nebraska defense is designed for the blockers to take away that middle back area of the court. So if you can do a high roll shot, that's going to fall.
Big 12 champions leading 9-5. Nepo, and that was a bad play. Nepo should have popped it up. She popped it too close to the net, and Penn State gets a gift point. 9-6 now.
And Ketchiamani digging nails backcourt. A lot of people wouldn't think she'd stay in to play defense, but she's digging them up for transition.
Nepo into the middle. Maindring is rejected. Emily Stout is there. If you're wondering about the All-America Terry Zemaitis, she's now playing on the USA national team.
Actually here this weekend watching her Nittany Lions play. They're hosting some tryouts, autograph session for the national team.
There's Maindring again. Gauss coming. Bremner, one hand. No! Well, when the ball is close to the net, Nebraska is winning some of those jams. Terry Pettit saying, yeah, keep up the tempo. Let's keep it going.
Wants Maindring to get back there and serve a ball.
A lot of responsibility on the setter. You watch Bonnie Bremner calling all the plays, dealing with all the personalities.
Well, you think about it, she's the only player on the court. The setter is the only player that actually have a touch in every single play. If you're doing it right, not shanking the ball, the setter has to touch every ball.
Denise Kojol is in. We saw her briefly in game one. Bremner sets left. That's got to be a foot away. Down the line goes Schoenfeld.
And Bonnie mixing it up. The last court, close passes to the net. She's attacked the ball. That time a jump set to the outside, holds the middle blocker, keeps Korver fake, and opens up the outside.
Bremner with the serve. Nebraska is still leading. Ball is blocked. 9-7 Huskers. Out of the back line. Rolling into the corner. Jamie Krondak. Dave, you can hit it there every time, Heather. You'll be an All-American. In the red corner of the court. And now serving will be Manzi Monson. Monson has made a difference in this match, at least in this game. He has been fiery. Bremner back set, and Schoenfeld once again. Check her number. Schoenfeld with 9 kills. Cochran with 10. Anderson with 5. Ketchiamani with 12. Stout with just 4. And Bremner has 9. Wow. We'll check Bremner. That's near her career high. No, it's not. She had 17 in a match earlier this year against Illinois.
Yeah, she definitely puts up numbers like a hitter. And now, interestingly, Tanya Tonke coming back into the match. Hasn't played in this third game, not because her numbers were poor, but because Terry Pettit wanted to mix things up. Bring in the local girl, Katie Yonke, try and get the crowd behind Nebraska.
Megan Korver, short serve. Stout off the net. Left side. This could be a block. It is. Bremner. Cochran whacks it. Blocked again. Cochran again. Whacks it. Dug up. Nebraska on the fly. Coming in left side. Krondak. No! She did not clear the net. 4 contacts in the ball. Back to Penn State. 27 hitting errors for Nebraska. Now, Calna Miller will come back in. Going out is Emily Stout. We want to wish the best to UCLA broadcaster Lou Riggs, who had surgery today, recovering in Los Angeles. We want to wish him the best, the voice of the UCLA Bruins. One of my best friends and mentors. We hope you get well soon, Lou. Hope you're watching our broadcast.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. Lou Riggs. Now, Fiona Nepo will put the ball in play. Nebraska trying to get to 10. Nepo. Working line. Cochran's been good on this play. Hasn't shanked. She shanks the pass straight up. The center has no choice but to center, and she whacks it in the corner.
That is the ultimate pressure. That is the worst play in volleyball, I think, is when you shank the pass, and the only option is that you have to get set. You can't hit that ball out.
One way to get the set. Maindring, and Penn State has been doing a much better job on Maindring. Maindring has 15 kills, but they're starting to size her up, Heather.
And Ketchiamani has been all over the court blocking. You see how long her arms are. Huge wingspan just stuffing Nebraska.
9-8. Penn State trying to tie it up on this play. Ball blocked. Nepo on the run. Tauchi with the drive. We were just talking about Maindring's 15 kills, but she also has 12 hitting errors. So Penn State's done a good job on the hitting star for Nebraska.
Tauchi not seeing quite as many swings, but really getting it done on those quickest sets. A very fast arm swing.
9-8. Nebraska by 1. Left side, Cochran off balance. Well, you got to get off the net on that if you're the blocker. Tauchi. Nice dig. Calna Miller. Nepo saves it. Schoenfeld with a dig. Here comes Anderson. Hanging, yeah. Give it to Tauchi. You know, Tauchi is so tall. She kind of jumped and came down, but she kept her hands up, which is a sign of a great blocker,
Good
able to
hang
tip
time.
that ball down.
And it's amazing to look at Tanya Talke, 6'3", great player for a top team in the nation, to believe that she was actually cut from her 7th grade volleyball team. She couldn't serve the ball in the court, so Talke was cut from the team. That coach wishes she hadn't done that.
Talke now just needs 4 block assists to break the single-season block assist record for Nebraska. Nebraska gets the point. 11-8. And a timeout taken. So Nebraska hanging in there. Tonight's NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball National Semifinal has been brought to you by LensCrafters, helping people to see better 1 hour at a time. And by Spalding, the official ball for the NCAA Volleyball Championship. Little Red getting to work out. Penn State leading 2-0. Nebraska up by 3 here in game 3. Don't forget, more volleyball is coming your way. Don't miss your chance to attend the 1999 NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship. That'll be May 6th and 8th. Out in Westwood, in Pauley Pavilion, you can get tickets by calling 310-UCLA-WIN. And then we go over to Honolulu, Hawaii, December 16th and 18th. The site will be the Stan Sheriff Center in Honolulu. Tickets 808-944 both. 808-944 both. Looking forward to both of those.
Yeah, some early front runners for that 99 championship. Stanford expected to be quite good. University of the Pacific also returns all 6 starters, so look for those 2 possibly be in Hawaii.
Penn State won the first 2. Nebraska and head coach Terry Pettit fighting back here in game 3 and up 11-8. Trying to win a game on Russ Rose's squad. It's not easy to do. He's won 59 in a row.
The last time Penn State lost a game, October 10th of this year.
Serving Jamie Krondak into the middle, and Kachiamani with no one up is dug by Korver. Maindering. And they put it away. Megan Korver for president of Nebraska's Digging Club. Number 5 at point-blank range. Nobody up. Wow. 12-8. Miller goes out. Stout is back in. That good rotation. With Krondak serving. Bremner. Cochran on the run. Chance for another point. Nepo into the middle. Talke with a pound. Tanya Talke.
Tanya Talke picking up her 7th kill. She and Megan Korver and Mandy Monson have come alive here in game 3 to lead the Huskers.
Russ Rose trying to slow it down. Miller comes back. Stout goes out. 13-8 Nebraska.
2-hitter situation, so Bremner up again, once again, against Mandy Monson.
Bremner back set. Here comes Kachiamani. Oh, and the dig. Missed by Krondak. 13 kills for Kachiamani. Remember, a kill is a successful fight. As Cochran will serve. Christy Cochran, that's a lollipop. An easy one. Nepo back set. Bingo! Tanya Talke.
Nebraska can get the pass. Their offense is so powerful at the net, and they are coming alive right now. I think they're feeling it, outscoring them 4-0 right now. They've had runs in game 1 and game 2, but never had the lead this late in the game.
Back in is Nikki Hank. And Talke goes out. Hank with 3 aces so far on the night. She goes way back, right to the end of the court. Talke saying, yeah, I'm stuffing. I'm doing it. Get me back in there. Left side. Schoenfeld. Wow, is she hitting well. You can tell she's in a great rhythm, continuing to pound.
Hitting the ball right at the peak, the apex of the set. She's the type of hitter that likes to tool block, that time using the outside hand. 10
kills. Kachiamani serves. 13-8 Nebraska. And Nebraska passing much better, and they're getting some production. Monson on the line. Mandy Monson set the tone. She has 7 kills. She's got 5 blocks, and she has got some voice referral in this game.
And a difference between Pettit and Russ Rose. Pettit will make the adjustments, bringing new players, trying to find a spark. Russ Rose, on the other hand, tends to stick with the starting six and the back row subs that he traditionally uses.
Nebraska has 14 now and a chance for its first game point. Penn State's record of 59 straight games. Their winning streak on the line here. Maindring. Pretty good pass. I'll set Stout, and she puts it away. Nebraska guessed wrong that time. Left Stout open, and she whacked it down. Now Bonnie Bremner will put the ball in play. Passes off. Maindring. Boy, she's really patty-caking the ball now. She's not hitting with authority. Schoenfeld. Nepo flipping it over. And it's going to score a point. Make that a side out. And it will be the second game point for Nebraska. What a gutsy shot by Fiona Nepo.
Hey, but it's been working. That's 3 times now that it's worked out of 4 tries. Penn State needs to make the adjustment and read that quick set.
Nebraska feeling it. Can they get a game and make this a match? Chance right here. Monson serving. Back set. Schoenfeld. This could be it for game 3. Into the middle. And the put away. Nebraska has won a game.
And Penn State has lost a game for the first time in 59 tries. Very interesting to see how Penn State can react. Remember, they were down 2 games to nothing against Stanford, came back, but they haven't been as tested this season in long matches. Last time they went 5 against Illinois at the very beginning of the year.
We are coming back. Penn State leading Nebraska 2 games to 1. More coverage, more live volleyball coming up right after this. NCAA Volleyball Championships continuing. The state capitol looming in the distance. 8 days until Christmas, everybody. Every sport pales next to volleyball. There's an encouraging sign. Been good action so far. Penn State winning the first 2 games, 15-11, 15-8, but Nebraska rallying in game 3. And a couple of players that made the difference. First was Katie Yonke, who started, but Mandy Monson set the tone at the net.
Well, she came in and just clearly shut down Bonnie Bremner at the net. 3 stuff blocks in a row.
And then screamed at her.
Bremner. Yeah, and more importantly, gets her Huskers involved, gets the attack, obviously earns the start here for game 4.
You know, I'm a guy, but what do women say to each other when they scream at each other?
Just what guys say. Any kind of trash talking you can have. Hitting errors still plaguing Nebraska, but the blocking game still won by the Huskers. Penn State playing with a little bit more consistency in the transition game. The difference in game 3, Nebraska able to slow down Penn State's middles. Just 3 kills out of the middle for Penn State, and Nebraska's clock held the Nittany Lions to just 152 in that last game.
And a little bit better passing by the Huskers. So here we go. Maindring over the top. If Nebraska has a chance to be the first team to ever come back, number 7 has to hit with a little more steam. Remember that big rally where she hit 3 or 4 balls in a row? I think she got gassed a little bit. We'll see if she gets her rhythm back.
And I don't think we've yet to see how hard she can hit the ball. Curry Pettit says she hits the ball harder than anybody he has ever coached.
She's not getting steam now, though. You can see it. Left side, Monson, blocked. Penn State saying no. Jamming, no. Here goes Bremner again. Monson's on her, and Monson blocks another one. Mandy Monson, number 4.
And Bonnie Bremner actually asking the official, saying, hey, I was trying to set that. But clearly, Bonnie Bremner attacking the ball. One-hand push. The douse play, and Mandy Monson is all over it.
Mandy Monson, a 4.0 in high school, the valedictorian of a high school class. She is into it. Big hit. Beautiful dig by Megan Corbin.
Nice shot.
Maindring. And Maindring just has no steam.
Interesting, though. I think Maindring is the type of hitter that likes the tight set. She's got the leap. She's got the arm swing. Even against a big Penn State block, she can hit by it. So maybe Nepo needs to move her a little bit closer to the net now.
I think that's a good strategy. Too far off the net. Left side. Ball blocked. Good play by Bremner. Gets her hitter out of the way. Into the middle. Nepo! The first person I ever saw do that shot was Debbie Green of the United States.
And ironically, Debbie Green sitting in row number 1, watching it take place. 4 kills now for Fiona Nepo. And watch, she falls down on the play. She slips in some sweat and still gets the kill. That's the payoff.
We used to call it chickening it over the net. And when it goes, it goes. So Nebraska starts out with a 1-0 lead. Schoenveld trying to pull it up. And Nebraska whacking it out of bounds. First bad play for Nikki Hank. She's played well up to this point. Count that as a hitting error, according to excellent stat man Michael Sondheimer. How do I know that? Well, Michael told me. 30 kills. Monson squeaking it through the block. Oh, and Korver with a little tunder. She's starting to get a little rhythm. She had the dig, she had the hit.
She actually led the nation in hitting percentage through the first half of the season until she was slowed by an injury. She's finally fully healthy now. A senior doesn't want to see her team go down.
Began her career at George Washington University before transferring. Can't pull that one out. Keep in mind, this Nebraska team has great experience. Fiona Nepo, you see her right there, and Jamie Krondak both played on that 95 championship team. So they have won NCAA championships, which is a great feeling to have in an atmosphere like this. Here comes Maindring, and the ball's dug up. Nice play by Kachiamani, who's really improved in the back line. Nepo back set. Here comes Korver, and Korver taps it down the line. Now let's see, was there a net? Yes, there was. Someone for Penn State netted. Can't touch the net at any time.
Another look. Watch the forearms here. The outside hitter, Cochran, may have been stout, actually, with the forearms.
Yeah, maybe some tippy toes. 1-0 Nebraska. Here comes Cochran, and Cochran has been alive on the outside. Christy Cochran with 12 kills.
Such a smart hitter, hitting .369 on the year. Hitting percentage is a lot like baseball. You can actually hit a little bit higher in volleyball than you can in baseball, and Cochran just continues to improve.
Penn State, Kachiamani gets the rejection. 1-1, beginning of game 4. Penn State leading the match 2-1. Nepo sets left. Krondak. Nice. Jamie Krondak. She was the one who actually recommended Fiona Nepo to Terry Pettit. They played together in a junior national team tryout. She said, hey, there's a setter from Hawaii that looks pretty good. You should take a look at her. And he did. And they have been very, very happy with Fiona Nepo. There are a lot of great setters in Nebraska history. As you know, Lorianne Nicod, Christy Johnson. Nepo's right up there. Yeah. Kauke's off balance. 1-1. Penn State on the attack. Cochran. Yeah. Nepo got one. You can tell when a little person gets it. They do that.
And actually, the Nebraska journalists actually call this the Nepo jig. This is when she's truly fired up. She gives a little pump fake, and she's happy.
So Nebraska will serve it. Megan Korver in the back line. Off-speed. Free ball, Nebraska. Good play there. A little misdirection. Krondak looking like she's going around the horn, came back, and a point.
A good blocker watches the footwork and the approach pattern, so when Krondak can mix it up, look like she's coming in and then step out. Very easy to get one-on-one. 7 kills now for Krondak.
State hitting percentage getting down in the 200s. Nepo, perimeter sets left. Nice kick. That was Mandy Monson, and the rejection. Lauren Kachiamani. Russ Rose told me when Lauren Kachiamani and Penn State played the USA national team last year, you remember that match when Penn State beat the USA?
Exactly, yeah.
He said Lauren Kachiamani was the best player on the floor for either team.
And interestingly, he also said that was the best he'd seen his team play all season. He thought that they peaked when they played the USA team and then kind of went down and reached a plateau, peaked too early. This season, he really worked it so they're peaking just at the right time.
Kind of interesting. They could beat the USA national team at that point, but couldn't beat Stanford.
Go figure.
Hey, Stanford is good, though. Tom Shaw with another good year this year, and he will be loaded next year with all the recruits and the returners. And pounding through the block is Christy Cochran. So Cochran, her first year in a Penn State uniform, she hit -132, then to 291, then to 308. This year, 369 as a senior, so she has really improved. She'll get out. And Lonnie Schlottfeld is in. Game 4, 3-1 Nebraska. Nebraska passing better, and they're terminating. Maindering, and she hit it out. Boy, Maindering, we're going to have to take a look at her hitting errors. She has 15 kills and 15 errors, so she is hitting 0.
She also has 55 swings. That's 40 more than any other player on the Nebraska side, so she's seen a lot more attempts, but also making a lot more errors.
Does she look worn out to you?
I think so. I haven't seen the heat that I saw in practice yesterday. She could slam a tight ball. She's also not getting set very tight.
Bremner finally got one by, taking a whack at it. And Penn State will have the ball back. 3-2, Nebraska, game 4. Connie Bremner trying to lead her team into the championship final for the 2nd straight year. Monson down the line. Good shot. Tattooed Cacciamani coming up.
A very interesting story about Mandy Monson. She did everything she could in high school to become the best athlete she could. She actually drove 3 hours each way to practice to play club volleyball. Drove to Wallace, from Wallace to Grand Island, Lincoln, Omaha, anywhere she could to play with the best players in the state, and it's paid off.
Mandy Monson, big story tonight, number 4 in black. And that's off her arms out of bounds as Schoenfeld continues to pound. Three-two.
There's a little heat. That time the ball still a little bit behind Nancy Maindering, but able to get the top spin she needed to find the deep corner.
3-2 is our score. Nebraska in black, Penn State in white. Penn State leading the match 2 games to 1, I should say. Nepo out of the back line, nobody there. Maindering, I don't think that was her ball. Some weird ball handling out there. Bremner, left side, off the block. And there's a play that will not make the NCAA highlight film.
But Mandy Monson finishing it off, the only aggressive player on the court during that play.
Reminder coming up next, directly following volleyball, the National Hockey League, the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Vancouver Canucks. We will go to hockey as soon as we finish with this volleyball match. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. NCAA women's semifinal number 1. We're live. And Nebraska trying to fight back after being down 2 games to none. Nebraska into the net on that play.
And a huge break for Penn State, who's really had a passing breakdown in the last game and a half.
Megan Korver's got a big future, but not as an actress. So Penn State trying to remain unbeaten, trailing 4-2. Games are to 15. If you're new to volleyball, you're a hockey fan, you don't know much about it. Best 3 out of 5 game match, each game to 15. You must win by 2. You can only score when you serve, and you cannot touch the net at any time. Out of the back line, that is Lauren Cacciamani. She is one of the stars in this match, a first-team All-America wearing number 2. She has 15 kills.
And Chris, she is a prototype national team, international style player. She plays all the way around. She's got the defensive game, and she has the back row attack to make her an international star.
Alma Miller is in as a defensive specialist. And off the block out of bounds, Jamie Krondak puts it away. Nebraska coming into this match with a 32-1 record. Penn State 34-0. No team in the history of NCAA collegiate volleyball has ever gone undefeated and won an NCAA title. 2 teams did it back in the 70s when the sport was AIAW, USC, and Long Beach. But it has never been done while women's volleyball has been NCAA. Big put away there by Lindsay Anderson, a first-team All-Big Ten selection. Anderson with just 6 kills. Kind of a quiet night for her so far.
And, Chris, I think Anderson is somebody that really needs to light it up, come alive. She's 3rd on the team in kills, and right now hitting right about 0. Just as many errors as kills.
Well, it's amazing how one player can make a difference. We saw it with Mandy Monson in Game 3. If one player can raise the level of her game, you know, that can really elevate the team if everybody continues to play the same.
And all season long, Penn State really looked to Anderson, voted 2nd team All-American, and they've looked for her to put up some big numbers.
We're at the Kohl Center in the middle of hockey country Ironically, Madison, Wisconsin. This
Actually,
building,
ice underneath this floor.
there is. My feet are getting a little chilly just thinking about it. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox, live NCAA volleyball. Nebraska and Penn State, and Nancy Maindring. Well, I tell you what, I'd have to take a look through her stats, but this has got to be the worst hitting match she has had all season, maybe her whole career. She has 17 kills. Give her the kill there. But 15 errors. 69 attempts, so she is getting a lot of work. Okay, when Nebraska gets a horse, they ride it. Same with Lisa Reitzma last year. She's got a zillion sets.
And Nebraska always has been a team whose offense surrounded by great opposite players. But it's interesting to look. 69 attempts by Maindring. Nobody on the Nebraska squad has more than 26 attempts, so she's taken the majority and one more.
For those of you tuning in to watch hockey, that's coming right up after volleyball. We'll join that match as soon as we can. Colorado, Vancouver, good matchup. Directly following volleyball on the deuce. Harry Pettit, the head coach for Nebraska, one of the great coaches in the history of the women's collegiate game. His counterpart, Russ Rose. In a long match, a lot of side outs, a lot of funky things happening. Left side, here comes Monson, and she goes down the line again. So Mandy Monson, she's matched up on Bremner when Bremner is hitting, and Bremner is matched up on her when she is hitting, and she is winning both battles.
And a great read by Nepo. You always want to go after the setter. Usually the shortest player on the team, the shortest blocker. So good idea to set Monson, let her hit over.
Bremner's never going to be a great blocker. There's a block. Maindring comes alive. She hasn't had much to scream about. As Nebraska goes to 6. So the Huskers leading 6-2. Fifth. Now make it 16 blocks now for that big front line.
And don't forget, Nebraska came into this match leading the nation in blocks per game, but Penn State #2. But they haven't been able to hang tough with Nebraska so far in the blocking category.
Bonnie Bremner set to serve. Monson off balance. Set left. Schoenveld got to think somewhere else because Monson is there. Maindring. Nebraska sets up its block. Ball tug. Beautiful. Nikki Hanks. Schoenveld off the block and out of bounds. I'll tell you what. Talk about hard hitters. Blast. Heavy ball.
Well, she has a really low shoulder, so she gets so much power behind it. Right now, this game is all about transition. So many side outs, some long rallies.
One thing Penn State is not doing very well is serving tough, or Nebraska is passing a lot better. And a timeout is called. So in the midst of national semifinal #1, Penn State leading 2-1, but Nebraska leading here in Game 4. Penn State won the first 2. Nebraska rallied in Game 3. Nebraska leading here in Game 4. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox, if you're joining us for National Hockey Night, Colorado versus Vancouver, we will go directly to that match, that matchup right after volleyball is finished. Right now, Penn State, with a win in this game, would take the match and advance to the championship final on Saturday. But Nebraska putting up a great fight and leading by 2, 6-4. Keep in mind that no women's collegiate volleyball team has ever come back from a 2-0 deficit to win a semifinal. However, these two teams did play in the NCAA playoffs, a regional final in 1996 in Lincoln. Nebraska rallying to win 2018 in Game 5.
And I think of almost any team in the nation that I have seen play this year, Nebraska is the one that has the ability to come back. They've proven it time and time again. In fact, this season alone, when facing elimination, they have a 7-1 record.
6-4 slam dink. And Nebraska will have it. Serving is Monson. And they're working on Cochran. She's not passing well. It's the same story. Passes it high to herself. Nepo back set. Open is Korver. Blocked. Good play by Cochran. They set Cochran, and she slams it down. Nepo's got to take an angle on Cochran. She's hit
I don't think we've seen her hit line tonight.
Nope. Don't need to. She can hit it straight down.
Court, especially when you've got a smaller setter. Nepo at 5'9" has a great vertical, but still a small block in comparison to her teammates.
And you know, Heather, on a low set, you can't hit.
You've got to crank cross court.
Absolutely. Kalna Miller comes in. She's a sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A couple of aces. Her high game this year. Out of the back line. Meandering. Her best hit in about an hour. Left side, Krondak. Over the top. Penn State scrambling. Looping shot. Hank is there. Korver got it. Megan Korver coming around the horn.
And just keeps getting better and better as this match progresses. Now with 9 kills. Don't forget, she started very slow in game 1, hitting negative. More errors.
Tanya Tauke comes back in for the Huskers in the front line. Number 22 in black as Terry Pettit continues to substitute liberally. Good serve. Low and tight. Here comes Cochran. Cross court. Huskers are there. Can they put it away? Maindring. No. She's rejected.
Cacciamani picking up her 11th block assist of this match. She prides herself on her block. It dictates the way she plays offense, and so far, both are humming.
Krondak. Here comes Bremner. They jam. Huskers. Krondak. Here comes Bremner. Bremner sets left. Cochran. Cross court. No. Give Cochran the kill. And a point registered to Penn State.
And Penn State's transition game has improved quite a bit here in game 4. It was non-existent in game 3 thanks to Nebraska's good blocking and good passing, but now getting into a little bit more of a rhythm.
Watch the serve going short left front. No. Right down the middle. Good pass by Monson. Here comes Krondak. And Miller has to dig. Chance for a point if they can get a swing. Ball popped up. Nebraska. Tauke. Calling for the D. Boy, the setting is a little bit erratic. Nepo. Too long. And Penn State has tied up game 4. 6-6. The 37th Nebraska hitting error.
And that is where Penn State's finesse is coming into play. On imperfect sets, they're keeping the ball alive.
Into the middle. Ball is blocked. Nebraska can't get it. Penn State has its first lead of game 4. And a timeout call. So Russ Rose's team is starting to gain some momentum. We'll continue. We'll have more from Madison, Wisconsin right after this. Strong here at the Kohl Center. NCAA semifinal number 1. Penn State leading Nebraska 7-6 here in game 4. Hitting percentage is very, very low in this match. 140 for Nebraska. When you look at season hitting, 363, 297, you play good teams, your hitting percentage is not going to be glossy.
Well, I think the low hitting percentages are a direct product of great blocking by both teams, forcing a lot of hitting errors.
Nebraska is the team in black. If you're just joining us, you're expecting National Hockey League night. That is coming up directly following volleyball. This is game 4. Penn State in white. And the put away by All-American Lauren Cacciamani.
And Penn State is doing an amazing job. Cacciamani with 15 kills. They are scoring points when Cacciamani is in the front row. When she rotates into the back is when Nebraska's been able to go on scoring runs.
Penn State trying to get control of this match and get into that championship final. Nepo sets left. Krondak in late, and it is blocked. Nice up. Monson. Maindring, no.
You know, Chris, you've talked all night long. No heat from Maindring. A lot more hitting errors than we're accustomed to seeing. But don't forget, she is a sophomore. She didn't play a lot last year behind Reitzma. This is by far the biggest match of her career. Might be adding a little bit of pressure.
Nebraska led 4-2. Now Penn State on a 7-zip run, as you saw, leading 9-6. So Terry Pettit trying to wheel and deal. He takes out Monson. Check that. He takes out the middle blocker, Korver. Krondak. Ball scooped up. Nice set. Right side. Bingo. Dug up. Here comes Penn State left side. Cochran hits it off the block out of bounds.
The good news about Christy Cochran's attack is when the block touches the ball, she either tools it out of bounds or it's a soft shot that's a playable ball for Penn State. Those are the things that don't show up in the stat book, but that make Christy Cochran very valuable on the outside.
16 kills for Cochran. She's hitting .309. Kachiamani, the big gun, 18 kills. She also has 7 blocks. Maindring kill. Boy, Maindring. She has got oodles of numbers. 19 kills, 17 errors, 76 attempts. She's hitting .26. She has 19 digs. A stocking stuffer full of numbers. Nepo. Tauke. Out! And Penn State will have it. Penn State 10, Nebraska 6. The 40th Nebraska hitting error.
Last 2 matches, Nebraska has not been consistent at the net. Hit 187 against Wisconsin in the regional final. That's the second lowest percentage of the season. They're working on the lowest percentage right now at 130.
Cochran is out. Schlotfeld served it. Free ball. Penn State on the attack. Bremner sets left. Schoenfeld. Ball dug up. Nicely done by Kojol. And the ball is stopped. Schoenfeld was there along with Kachiamani and the Penn State band, led by Julie Bremner, the sister of the setter, Bonnie Bremner.
Nice timing on the block. Kachiamani just so quick to the outside.
Schoenfeld got a little anxious. She pounded the net, then the ball, so Nebraska will get the ball back. Once again, we're playing to 15. So if Penn State wins this game, the match is over. And Penn State will go on to face the winner of semifinal number 2, either Florida or Long Beach State. Bremner tries to jam, and Tauke was there. You never know when a run can start with a play like that.
Well, when you can shut down the team's heart and soul, the leader, the quarterback, which is what Tanya Tauke and Mandy Monson have been able to do, you've got a good shot.
Bremner, they're jamming, and Bremner wins that one.
How ironic is it? Every time Bonnie Bremner is stepped, this shows her competitive spirit. She refuses to lose. Every single time she's been stepped, she's gone after a dump the second time and gotten a kill.
That pass is close. Bremner very adept at jamming it down. 11-7, Nepo sets left. And Monson once again working the line. Mandy Monson, who sparked the team in game 3. Monson now with 12 kills and 6 stuff blocks. Something came apart on the court. Got a little debris over there as they take it off. Might have been an earring or some kind of equipment as Tauke goes to the bench.
Eye contact.
Okay.
Nancy Maindring can't wear earrings, no jewelry of any sort, not even barrettes in your hair, but you can wear contacts and they can fall out.
I said equipment. So Nebraska 4 points away from semifinal elimination. Husker serving. Bremner scoops. Schoenfeld. Nice dig by Nebraska. Maindring. Penn State, little pinball defense. Left side, tip. Boy, Penn State all over the tips. They're moving in, and the Nebraska block is there. Maindring and Korver. That makes it 11-8. So Nebraska won't go away.
And it'll be very interesting to see how Penn State can side out and then score points. Lauren Kachiamani, that last rotation, moves into the backcourt. Don't forget, Penn State's scoring runs have been with Kachiamani in the front row.
$11-9 is our score. 11-8, I should say. A little earlier, we asked Russ Rose what it means for his team to be undefeated at this point. This is what he said.
I think there's been a team that's won a national championship with 7 or 8 losses, so I don't think it really is a big factor. I think it's, you know, getting yourself in a position to compete in the NCAA championships. This year you had to win 4 matches to get to the Final Four, and then the 4 teams that have done that have an opportunity to win. And if it ends up being a team that's undefeated, then I don't know if they'll be happier because they were undefeated or just happier that they won the last match.
He has done everything, Heather, except win a national championship.
That is correct. Russ Rose has been one of the most successful coaches in history. Number 2, only to Don Shaw at Stanford in win percentage, and he plays it down, but I know just how very important a national championship ring would be to Russ Rose. Terry Pettit's got one. They won one back in '95.
You saw that Russ Rose actually coached for Terry Pettit when he was starting out. I think they're very cordial. I don't think they're great friends. They have a tremendous rivalry. In fact, at the press conference this week, Terry Pettit was joking. He said, I don't know if we can beat their volleyball team, but I know I can take him physically and beat him in badminton and some sports. All right, 11-8. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox. Big crowd on hand here at the Kohl Center, Madison, Wisconsin. One of the hotbeds of American volleyball. Penn State in white, trying to put this match away. It's 11-8, the corrected score.
And Penn State knows how important Ketchiamani is. She's scoring points for them in the front court, so why not go to her in the back court out of that pike position for a back row attack?
Great pass into the middle. Korver tomahawks it into the corner. Don't forget, the National Hockey League is coming up. So far, no score between Colorado and Vancouver, and we will take you out there on the deuce right after volleyball concludes. It might conclude in this game if Nebraska could come back. We could see rally scoring in Game 5. Nebraska trailing by 3 at the moment.
And Lindsay Anderson coming alive, continuing to get better as the match progresses, just nails it down the line. Well, that's because only one block rep blocking her cross court.
Pretty good pass there. Into the middle, and Korver got a touch. Wow.
And
that was a high quick.
Both Penn State blockers jumped with Fiona Nepo. The left front blocker has to jump with the setter. The middle blocker, Emily Stout, has to stay with Megan Korver in the middle.
Nebraska down by 3 here in Game 4. Bremner, right to Korver. That's got to be double contact. Or a back row attacker. So Bremner in the back line, not allowed to jump and attack at the net. That cost her team a point. So we'll make it 11-9 now as Nebraska creeps back. Monson. Shank pass, and that's going to be another point. Don't write off the Huskers. You know, the Nebraska radio guy was telling me before the match that the Huskers have a lot of heart. They don't go away. They get down. They play big. And it's hard to extinguish them.
Down 2 games to 1, facing elimination, Pepperdine and Wisconsin, and they battled back to make it here to the national championship.
John Baylor, the voice of the Huskers on radio. He's the man at KLIN, who was giving me some gas before the match. And he's right, the Huskers hang right in there. They're trailing as Kalna Miller comes back in. 11-10. Ketchiamani back into the front line. Miller serving. Pretty good pass, shuffling it towards her block. Nepo takes a whack at it. Did she get a touch? They're begging for touch, and they're not going to get it. So no touch detected on the Nepo spike. Penn State gets a needed point. 12-10 now. Penn State 3 points away. Left side Klondike. Free ball Penn State. They'll go to Cochran. And she puts it away. Christy Cochran with kill number 18.
Cochran actually a better basketball player in high school than volleyball, coming to her own. She's been dynamite on the outside.
Penn State 2 points away. Korver, and Korver around the horn.
Well, Korver's one of 3 seniors for Nebraska. Krondak, Korver, and Nepo. Heart and soul of this squad. They're the ones that have triggered the comebacks in the regionals. Expect the ball to go to Megan Korver as often as possible in crunch time.
4 of the regulars for Nebraska hitting below 200. The only star for Nebraska hitting well is Mandy Monson at 478. She's had the match. Tomahawk jam.
They're running the dog again on a perfect pass. That ball is hard to stop. Watch how deceptive. Off of one leg, then moves in closer to the setter. Doesn't get any blockers up in front of her hitting her.
13-10. Now 14-10. And Penn State is 1 point away from moving back into the national championship final. Serving it up will be Lindsay Anderson. Anderson for the win. Nepo sets left. Krondak. And the put away. Nepo will serve. Her team down by 4. Good serve.
Have to score on a free ball.
Nepo pops it over. And Tremendous stuff on Cochran.
You just can't set into that block. Tanya Tauke and Nancy Maindrine, I think, form one of the toughest blocks in college volleyball this year.
Nepo at 14-11 now. Bremner sets left. Cochran off the arms of Monson.
Smart play by Cochran that time. Goes high hand, high top speed to avoid the stuff.
Second match point to move along. Left side, this could be it. Over the net, back to Tauke. Bremner sets left for the win. Schoenfeld. And that's it. Penn State is advancing to the national championship final. Russ Rose's team advances by eliminating Nebraska. Once again, the final score, Penn State beats Nebraska 3-1. Don't forget, tomorrow night we will show you Florida against Long Beach State. That will come to you on the Deuce at 12 p.m. midnight Eastern, and 9 p.m. Pacific. Heather Cox, quick thoughts?
Penn State has so much firepower, balanced offensively, 4 players in double-digit kills. Nebraska fought hard. Penn State is hot right now.
All right, we've got to go. For Heather Cox, I'm Chris Marlowe. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. The National Hockey League is coming up next. Don't forget, Colorado and Vancouver. Good night, everyone.
I'd be worried. They were my preseason tickets all the way. Probably hurt.
The Beach fans are ready at the Kohl Center in Madison, Wisconsin. But so are the Gator Maniacs, who will try to play a different